We all witnessed the surprising end of the Starship launch as it exploded mid-air, and viral clips showed debris raining down on an island. Now, an official report sheds light on the reasons behind this incident and its surprising aftermath. In this video, we'll dive into the key findings, the contributing factors to the explosion, and what it means for SpaceX moving forward. Before we delve deeper, please make sure to subscribe to our channel for future updates about Starship and SpaceX's other groundbreaking achievements. Flight 7 of SpaceX's Starship began with high hopes, as Booster 14 executed a flawless liftoff and initial ascent. The separation of the Super Heavy booster from the Starship upper stage occurred smoothly, with both components appearing to function as expected at first. This phase demonstrated the success of some of the system upgrades SpaceX implemented for this launch. After separation, the Starship upper stage ignited its engines as planned, heading toward its target trajectory. However, around T+7 minutes and 39 seconds, problems began to emerge. A critical failure occurred when one of the sea-level Raptor engines on the upper stage malfunctioned. Shortly after, at T+7 minutes and 52 seconds, a fire was observed in the hinge of the starboard aft flap, signaling further trouble. This fire appeared to be linked to an oxygen leak, which Musk had previously cited as a potential risk factor for the mission. The sequence of events escalated as another sea-level Raptor engine failed at T+8 minutes and 2 seconds. A second later, a nearby vacuum Raptor engine also shut down unexpectedly. By T+8 minutes and 17 seconds, another vacuum engine had failed, and at T+8 minutes and 23 seconds, the final operational sea-level engine shut down, leaving the upper stage with no functional propulsion. The cascading engine failures created a severe thrust imbalance, causing the vehicle to deviate from its intended trajectory. Instead of maintaining stable flight, the upper stage began to rotate uncontrollably. Recognizing the danger, SpaceX activated the flight termination system to safely end the mission, as indicated by the abrupt cessation of altitude and speed data. The dramatic conclusion to the mission immediately sparked concerns about where the debris had landed. Reports suggested that fragments from the spacecraft may have traveled to areas far beyond the designated hazard zones, including the coasts of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Later investigations confirmed that pieces of the spacecraft had also washed ashore on the Turks and Caicos Islands, intensifying scrutiny over the safety measures and risk assessments for the launch. Initial reports indicated that debris from the Starship explosion may have reached the coasts of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. This was later confirmed when fragments, including heat shield tiles, were found washed ashore on the Turks and Caicos Islands. The event quickly gained widespread attention after dramatic footage of the debris re-entering Earth's atmosphere went viral online. Many described the scenes as resembling a meteor shower, with glowing fragments streaking across the sky in fiery trails, creating a spectacle that looked straight out of a science fiction movie. Early images showed a single heat shield tile discovered on a beach, but as investigations continued, photos began circulating online showing an extensive collection of debris. In one particularly striking image, over 100 pieces of various shapes and sizes were displayed on a table, including at least 2 intact heat shield tiles. These fragments have been a focus of analysis to determine the causes of the mishap. In addition to heat shield tiles, reports also highlighted the presence of metallic debris from Starship S-33 on the islands. This reminds us of the first Starship explosion, where the rocket failed shortly after liftoff, scattering debris across a wide area. Unlike the recent event, the debris from that explosion fell on residential areas near the launch site, causing significant safety concerns. Reports from the time indicated that fragments of the rocket, including metallic shards, landed dangerously close to homes. In some cases, the impact shattered window glass and damaged rooftops, alarming local residents. The FAA grounded SpaceX's Starship program for several months after the first catastrophic explosion that scattered debris near residential areas, causing property damage like shattered windows and damaged rooftops. As a result, the FAA mandated that SpaceX make over 63 specific changes to the Starship system before it could launch again. These changes included redesigning the flight termination system to ensure debris would be minimized in future failures, and expanding hazard zones to keep debris away from populated areas. Given the serious consequences SpaceX faced after past Starship incidents, many are now wondering how the FAA is reacting to the recent Flight 7 explosion and whether the Starship program will be grounded again. The FAA has already launched a formal mishap investigation into the incident and has imposed strict conditions on SpaceX moving forward. On January 16th, the FAA announced that SpaceX is required to identify the root cause of the explosion and implement corrective measures before any future Starship flights can occur. Unlike previous investigations, this time the FAA is particularly focused on understanding how debris from the spacecraft reached populated areas like the Turks and Caicos Islands. Although Musk has publicly stated that he hopes to proceed with Flight 8 as early as February, this timeline depends entirely on how quickly SpaceX can satisfy the FAA's demands. Over the coming weeks, SpaceX must map debris locations, provide detailed reports on what went wrong, and propose design changes to address the underlying issues. The FAA will evaluate these changes before deciding whether to lift the suspension on Starship test flights. If SpaceX meets all the requirements set by the Federal Aviation Administration, Starship's Flight 8 is expected to proceed as planned. The upcoming test flight is anticipated to utilize Ship 34 and Booster 15, marking the second flight of a Block 2 ship. Flight 8 aims to build upon previous test flights by achieving a fully successful mission profile, including stage separation, orbital insertion, and recovery operations. Notably, this flight is expected to attempt the first catch of the Starship upper stage. Musk has expressed optimism, suggesting that the next launch could occur as early as next month, stating, "Nothing so far suggests pushing next launch past next month." In preparation for Flight 8, SpaceX is expected to implement corrective actions based on the findings of the FAA's investigation. The upcoming flight aims to test a more powerful version of the Starship and Super Heavy rocket, referred to as Starship 3, which is projected to double the thrust of the upper stage and increase the booster's thrust from approximately 74 meganewtons to about 100 meganewtons. In preparation for Flight 8, SpaceX has conducted extensive testing on the prototypes. Ship 34 and Booster 15 have undergone rigorous evaluations, including static fire tests and structural assessments. One of the key differences in these prototypes is the implementation of design modifications to enhance reliability and safety. These changes are informed by the lessons learned from previous test flights, including adjustments to engine configurations, structural reinforcements, and updates to flight software. The goal is to incrementally improve the Starship system's performance and pave the way for future operational missions. Looking ahead to 2025, SpaceX has ambitious plans to increase the frequency of Starship launches. The FAA has released a draft environmental assessment proposing an increase in the number of annual Starship liftoffs from the current 5 to 25. This adjustment would allow SpaceX to conduct more frequent launches without seeking separate licenses for each flight, streamlining the approval process. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.